Oh 07 everybody. Today I want to do a quick naval tutorial that just really emphasizes the importance of capping objectives and, kind of demonstrates just how valuable of a strategy that can be, even in the most obscene of power imbalances. The game that you're going to see was recorded just a few days ago. The reason I'm using it is just because it's one of the most extreme examples that I have handy, but this is how a lot of my naval matches go, and this is the way that I play naval. And I'm going to tell you guys everything that I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and then hopefully demonstrate to you guys why it was important and how it helped lead the entire team to victory. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we start off on this match, and immediately you can tell I'm already behind the power curve. I spawn in, I've joined in progress, the enemy is already capping Charlie. I'm looking at my teammates, the 90% of them are way up in the northwest corner. They are as far away from any objective as they could possibly be. I am all by myself down in the shallows, nobody to help me. I look over, bam, PT-811 immediately on the point. That's the guy who capped Charlie. I gotta dispatch him immediately. These quad 30mm on the PR-206, OP as hell. Honestly, the PR-206 needs to get a destroyer spawn. I take out the PT-811 pretty effortlessly. And now I'm, sailing in. Now my main focus is to just charge into Charlie and neutralize that point as rapidly as possible. It's so incredibly important in these early 3-cap matches to get these points either neutralized or on your color as quickly as possible, because the ticket bleed from these things is insane. You are not going to run out of lives more often than you'll lose by simply ticket bleed. So controlling that bleed, and you can already see, they just took Charlie. You can already see just how much of a chunk they've taken out of this blue bar up here at the top. So I'm going to get in here as quickly as I can, start that neutralization, and I'm looking around for other threats. I'm kind of assessing what's going on with my team. I'm looking at my team's composition. I'm seeing Prince Eugen, Kronstadt, Scharnhorst, Zelensnikovs, a bunch of heavy cruisers, a bunch of battleships, and I'm looking at the enemy team, and it's the same thing. And they are just all up there, just chucking shells at each other, all ignoring Alpha, all ignoring Bravo, and they just want to kill each other. Meanwhile, I'm down here, I'm going to decap Charlie, and then I'm going to try to make a move on Bravo. Now, I'm able to get Charlie without much more resistance other than that PT-811, but once I start moving on to Bravo, it's going to become a different story really, really quickly. Now, I'm not sure where this guy was at the beginning of the match. I think he may have been trying to go and get Alpha or Bravo and may have been dispatched by one of the larger vessels on my team, but eventually he dies, and it looks like a Tashkent kills him, and he dies, and he respawns as an LCS, one of the American landing ships. That thing is just bristling with guns from bow to stern. It's absolutely incredible and powerful, and I'm about to get a real nasty surprise out of my 3 o'clock. So I'm heading northbound, rushing into Bravo just as quickly as I can. 800 yards to go. I'm watching my team. I'm watching the enemy team. I see all those enemy ships, all those light cruisers, all those battleships. Man, look at that. Huge broadsides presented to me. Let's get some torpedoes in the water. Let's just chuck as many fish that way as I can, and now look off my 3 o'clock. This LCS has 40mm Bofors, 20mm Oerlikons, and a 3-inch gun. It's bristling. And they're going off, all in my general direction. And I'm panicking. Throw smoke in his face, turn away, dodge most of those incoming rounds, start returning fire with my stern 30mm dual turret there. And I'm not even trying to be accurate. I'm just trying to harass him a little bit as I get away. He's firing behind me now. He was tracking me originally. Now he's firing too shallow. His rounds are going slightly behind, but some of them are finding their home. And you can see my desperation as I just try to bob and weave, and I finally get behind the cliff. Oh man, alright, I'm safe for now. Luckily, he's slow as the dickens. It buys me just a little bit of breathing room to hide here behind this rock as I finish capping Bravo. I get those fires under control, I get that flooding under control, I let my smoke regenerate, and then you know what? Hey, my torpedoes are back online. Bam! Let's put 4 more fish in the water. Let's just get everything over there. Even if I don't hit with these torpedoes, You know, just the fact that those heavy cruisers and light cruisers have to take their eyes off the prize, they have to come out of their gunner optics to deal with the alarms of blaring torpedoes in the water just so they can dodge my fish. That's an advantage in and of itself. So I'm redoing my smoke because I know those heavy cruisers and light cruisers, after they saw me cap Bravo, they might send a couple of large caliber shells my way. So I'm going to go ahead and mask myself as I retreat back southbound. I know that LCS is going for Charlie, so I gotta head him off at the pass. So we're going back. Instead of moving into Alpha, I'm depending on my team. I'm like, come on, team, let's do this. Somebody go get Alpha. And, you know, it looks like it's anybody's game up there, but I gotta go and defend Charlie. I look over towards the LCS. Luckily, he's behind an island. It looks like I got a clean break to the south. And we got some torpedo hits on that U.S. battleship Wyoming there. That's gonna be pretty solid. Look on my left side, we got a Somner coming in. That's not good. He's got those dual 5-inch purpose guns, and the LCS is still hard charging in there towards Charlie. I'm going to give him a couple harassing shots, see if I can get a lucky clean break there. I do not. All my rounds fire a little short, and that Somner, he's taking aim at me. He's going to try to squeeze off around in between these cliffs here. One coming my way, misses just behind. So now I'm coming in behind the cliff. I'm taking cover. I know the LCS is coming. I know the destroyer is coming. And I'm going to kind of get a little timid here. And in hindsight, this might have been a bad play. But I pull my engines all the way back, full reverse. And I'm getting ready with my torpedoes. I know they're coming. They have to come around the cliff on me. I can go in reverse. And I'm kind of testing out my rudder. I'm kind of wiggling my butt a little bit. And I'm kind of getting an idea of how many degrees I can get, how quickly I can. I'm kind of aiming each one of these tubes and try to project out where I think that they'll be at the speeds that I think that they're going and where I need to put those torpedoes. The destroyer's hard charging down, and I'm just lying in wait. Now I lose sight of the destroyer for a moment because nobody's got line of sight on him. I'm not getting any radio communication on him, but I know that they're coming. He just can't change course fast enough. So the LCS is still visible, and the destroyer's going to pop in right about now. Here comes the destroyer. Guns already aimed at me. I'm full reverse. Torpedoes in the water. Torp, torp, torp. One for the LCS, three for the destroyer. Here come those torpedoes. One for the LCS, right across the bow. What a narrow dodge. One a little bit too far behind on the destroyer. One's looking good, but the destroyer, damn. Wow, robbed again. Just scraped by the tip of his hole there. I try to get my 30mm guns online. Maybe take out his front turrets. I'm just not so lucky. Totally defeated. They mopped the floor with me. It's time to do something else. These guys, they gotta go. This is my #1 priority. I have enough points. I get an aircraft. I gotta take those guys out. Those are the two most powerful and important. Everybody over there, not an issue. That destroyer and that little LCS, they're gonna win the game if I don't do something about them. Bringing in my TU-2. My TU-2 S-59, and this thing is just maneuverable enough, just tough enough, just fast enough, and has just good enough bombs that it is a super good naval attacker. You can pretty much one-shot battleships. You can avoid flak. If you do take a little bit of damage, you tend to be a little bit more survivable. You got the gunners on the rear to help you if any fighters get on you. I'm going to launch all my bombs at that gunboat down there. Bam, bam, bomb, bomb, bomb. Avoid all that flag. Hard turns away. Watching where those rounds are going. Trying to stay inside of them. Bombs land on the LCS. The LCS is going down. He detonates. Alright. Now it's arcade, so we get to reload our bombs. So now I'm just going to kind of porpoise here. And you'll see what my elevator's doing here. I'm kind of up on the elevator, down on the elevator. Up on the elevator, down on the elevator. And you can see those rounds are going above and beneath me. I'm twisting, I'm turning, I'm throwing rudder in there. Whatever I can do to make those flak shells not hit, because those American destroyers have nasty... All he has to do is connect with one of those 5-inch shells, and my whole plane's going to disintegrate. My bombs are ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bombs are rearmed. And we drop everything we got on that destroyer. Bam! He absolutely severs all my cables for control, losing it, rolling into the water. But the destroyer's down, that LCS is down, Charlie is clear. Next thing I do, pop into my PR, a 123K A11. This is one of the fastest boats in the game. I think it is the fastest boat in the game, at the making of this video at least. And I'm rushing for Charlie. The enemy knows exactly what I'm doing. I got an LS-3 behind me that spawns in. It looks like he's got the same idea as I am, and he starts shooting at me. Kind of freaks me out. I'm like, what the? Where's the enemy at? But it's just him. He just hit me with one shell. Enemy knows exactly what I'm doing. They know I'm the most important person on the team. They're going to do everything they can to stop me. They're bringing in 2 aircraft. They got the AM-1 Mauler, and they got an F-6F5 November. The Mauler comes in there. He wants to keep me away from Charlie. He puts 3 torpedoes in the water. And then he realizes that I'm going around the other side of the rock. I'm staying as close to this cliff as I can, minimizing his time on target. He saves his rockets. He comes around for me. I try to get my rear guns on him. He tries to get his rockets on me. And he crashes into the cliff. I crash into the same cliff. Luckily, though, my boat's a little tougher. Reversing off the cliff now. I got to turn around. I neutralized Charlie, and now I got to go back and get it. The LS-3 is actually handling that for me. But, you know, I'm not very trusting. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know if you're going to stay on the point. I don't know what you're going to do. But I'm going to come back here and just make sure that it happens. Because this is critically important. That we have 2 out of 3 caps. So we've lost Alpha. And now I'm starting to look and reassess what's going on with my team. Oh my god, look at that scoreboard. My team is gone. My team is pretty much... I've got a bunch of 1 death leavers. I've got 1 more light cruiser left. I've got that LS-3 who is now going eastbound away from the points. Doesn't seem at all concerned with what's going on to the north. And pretty much 80% of the enemy team is still alive in large capital ships after conquering Alpha, and they're all coming my way. This is not looking good. And then there's that LCS. He's back again. Luckily, he's a little distracted with that LS-3. And then I come around the horn, and oh my god, there's the whole enemy team. Heavy cruisers, light cruisers, destroyers, all bearing down right on top of me. They're all heading for Bravo. I've got to put myself on Bravo and somehow survive in this fragile little ship. I'm just going to chuck desperate torpedoes at him. LCS is over there. He's starting to fire at me. That's going to be one of the most dangerous things. He's starting to score good hits. I got to get some smoke in his face. I gotta try to hopefully the same miracle can work twice in a row. I've got rounds 3-inch, 5-inch, 20mm, 40mm landing all around me. I'm barely hanging on. I squeak it in right there behind the cliff. My torpedoes look like they're missing. I'm throwing Artie at that Chapayev. I'm throwing my artillery strike at him, just seeing what I can do. Trying to get all this fire and flooding under control. That's all under control. I'm fixing my ship, and I'm just desperately trying to get away. Desperately trying to get away. I got light cruisers like within 1,000 yards of me. They are brutalizing me. Come around the cliff as fast as I can. Squeeze around the other side. Chapayev is inside the cap zone. The only reason he's not taking the cap zone is because I'm inside the cap zone. The moment I die, we lose the game, and I'm like the last one left on the team. That LCS is over there. He's creeping around the corner. I'm not going to give him another try. I'm not going to give him another crack at me. So I'm going to dump a couple of torpedoes in the water at him. And I'm going to go the other way. So now I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I got the LCS on one side. Torpedoes in the water at him. I got a light cruiser on the other side. I've got destroyers and light cruisers coming around the north side. There's an Atlanta bearing down on me. You know, that thing's just made of 5-inch guns. I got a destroyer coming around the north island. I've generate smoke one more time. I've got so many guns on the north side bearing down on me. I need to obscure their vision as best I can. But I also need to obscure this LCS. Because I'm on my last legs here. My ship is torn apart. There's like nobody left alive on my boat. So I got to obscure his vision too. So I'm going to kind of S-turn around here. And get that smoke to just kind of give myself a nice little blanket of smoke. And then I'm going to tuck myself right into it on the beach. And I just curl up in a ball and hide. Again, they're not close to Charlie. They're going for Charlie, but they don't have time. They've got to decap Bravo. In order to decap Bravo, they've got to kill me. So the whole thing here is just me staying alive. The Atlanta, 4,000 yards away, closing fast, but luckily he's shooting at the last remaining person on my team. That light cruiser's almost through Bravo Point now. Here comes the Sumner on the north side island. He's bearing down on me. The LCS is now in line of sight. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do here? 2 more torpedoes for the LCS. I just gotta distract him. I just gotta get him to focus on something else. Crumb on the corner. Shit, is that a light cruiser right there? Go the other way. Holy crap, dude. Light cruiser like 300 yards away. Generate one more thing of smoke. Hide in, dude. 40mm, 20mm, 5-inch guns are raining down on the beach. Bam. game over. We win. Ticket bleed. It came down to the freaking wire there. And that's why just being able to play these objectives, just being able to keep the ticket bleed in your favor and bringing coastal boats is so incredibly important. I don't know how many people I've seen that just refuse to even put coastal on their lineup. And you don't have to grind coastal ships. Like, I know the PR206 is a lot to get. I know that there's a lot of, the PT15 and the PT800 series can be a lot to grind for. But man, that LS3, that G5, a lot of those reserve ships are good. And they're good not because they have great guns, not because they have a good amount of crew, not because they have any armor, but because they're fast. That's all you need out of coastal. You need something fast. Normally they have torpedoes. Torpedoes are the great equalizer, because you know what? Battleships can't really dodge them, and you can just keep hucking them at the battleships all you want. But the most important thing is you gotta take the capture zones. So I know you spent so long grinding for your battleships. I know you spent so long grinding for your heavy cruisers, and you want to use them. Trust me, you get to use them. Just bring your coastal ship first. Go take that cap zone. Go make that cap zone blue. Then when you die, because you're in a weak coastal ship, it's going to happen. Then go get your heavy cruiser. You got 3 lives. Use them. One more major advantage that I want to bring out about bringing your capital ships second instead of first is by the time, that 5 minutes has gone by that you've gone in and gotten those objectives and that you spawn your heavy cruiser, your battleship or whatever, the enemy team is already going to be tunnel vision. They are already going to have a target. They're already going to have their tracking up, and they're already going to be engaged in surface combat. So when you spawn in, you're only like 2,000 or 3,000 yards behind your team, and nobody's shooting at you. It offers you that initial respite where you get to spawn in, take your time, pick your target at leisure, and you're not taking a rain of bullets. Whereas if you're the first battleship that spawns in, guess who everybody's going to be shooting at? You. So not only do you gain the advantage of spawning coastal and being able to take all those capture zones and massively increasing your chance of winning the game, but when you do get into your battleships, when you do get into your heavy cruiser, you increase the longevity of that life and your likelihood of survival by orders of magnitude. So it's not only good for your team, but it's good for you personally and for your bank. So anyway, guys, that's just a little bit of naval knowledge, a little bit of my strategy, and just trying to stress the importance of playing the objectives. And you're going to be shocked the more you play naval how much you'll realize that 90% of the players out there, they just don't care. They're just not paying attention to it. They came in here to play their battleship. That's what they're going to do. They don't care what you do. They don't care what the enemy team does. They're going to hide behind an island, or they're just botting or something like that. There's a lot of just botters that'll just sail in circles out there in naval. And you, being an individual playing the objectives, can make a massive difference because of everyone else's aversion to doing so. And one of the first steps to, getting a good gains is just winning the game. So you can take a battleship if you want and go hide behind an island if you want to, but that's a really good way to lose more often than not and to die. Because a motionless battleship is a really easy torpedo target, and it's really easy to take out with aircraft, and guess what's coming for you? Those 2 things. So I hope that helps. I hope this helps you guys win more games and kind of understand what's going on and, you know what I mean, sort of change up your strategy. I'm not saying don't bring your battleships. I'm not saying don't bring your heavy cruisers. Just think about when you spawn them. And more often than not, spawning them first is not always the best move. Now, it is map dependent. There are certain maps where, say, the destroyers spawn almost next to the coastal ships. In that case, spawning in a destroyer, which can mop the floor with most coastal ships, is probably your better move. But still, those battleships are going to be spawning way in the back. You can always bet your bottom dollar that those battleships have the furthest to sail and are the slowest ones out there. So they're the least advantageous. You can get in a lot of maps, you can get in your battleship right away and sail full steam ahead towards the nearest objective, never slowing down, never deviating from your course, even to avoid incoming fire, and you won't even make it to the objective before the game is over. So keep that in mind. Get those fast ships, get in there, get that cap. Once you die, bring in the big guns, and then lay waste to the enemy as you try to defend the cap zones that you've already taken. And if somebody challenges you, challenge them back, slow them down, and ask for cover, ask for support. Let your team know, like, hey, I know you guys are shooting at that battleship, but he's basically useless. You see that little PR-206 right there? He's gonna win the game if we don't kill him. So keep that in mind. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate the privilege of your time, the excellence in all that you do. Fly safe, good hunting. 07.